All right, let's unpack this. Today's deep dive takes us into the world of artificial general intelligence.
AGI.
Exactly, AGI, but more specifically, how we measure progress toward it. We've got a research paper, hot off the press, that puts OpenAI's model, O1, through the ringer.
Yeah, this research paper is fascinating. They've moved beyond those traditional benchmarks, the ones that AI could kind of cheat on.
Right, right.
This research throws O1 into a real-world obstacle course across a ton of different fields.
So less memorizing the textbook and more actually understanding and applying the concepts.
Exactly. It's about seeing if O1 can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Okay.
And they didn't go easy on it. We're talking everything from radiology and robot commands
Wow.
to high school math problems and even anonymizing medical records.
Okay, color me intrigued. Where do we even begin with such a wide range of tests?
Well, they divided the tasks into a few key categories. First, they looked at O1's ability to tackle problems in science and engineering. This included things like chip design, generating code, understanding logical reasoning puzzles, and even solving those tricky high school math competition problems.
Hold on, an AI tackling competition math. That's a step beyond just basic algebra.
Right.
Did it actually hold its own against those brain teasers?
It's pretty remarkable, actually. The research shows O1 not only solved the problems, but often provided step-by-step solutions that mirrored human logic and reasoning. It even tackled some college-level discrete math problems, though that's where we start to see some limitations.
So not a flawless math whiz just yet, but impressive nonetheless. What other challenges did they throw at O1 in the realm of science and engineering?
One fascinating test involved using O1 as a sort of engineering assistant chatbot, specifically in the world of chip design. Think about the complexity of those designs. Precision and accuracy are critical.
I can only imagine. A tiny error could throw the whole thing off. So how did O1 fare as a chip design assistant?
They tasked it with generating system Verilog assertions, which are essentially checks to ensure the design is working correctly. And get this, the researchers found that O1 was often more effective than some existing tools because it could consider real-world scenarios and provide context.
That's a pretty big deal. It suggests O1 isn't just regurgitating information,
Yeah,
but applying it intelligently.
right. But it's not all smooth sailing. While O1 did well on those high school math problems, it sometimes struggled with the more abstract college-level ones. It seems to have a harder time grasping those subtle, multi-layered logical relationships.
It's like it can follow a single thread of logic, but gets tangled up when too many threads intersect. Kind of like us trying to juggle too many tasks at once.
Exactly. And that same limitation popped up in other areas, too. They tested O1's ability to understand and generate code, which is obviously crucial in today's tech-driven world.
So did they have it writing entire programs, or was it more focused on specific coding tasks?
They gave it a variety of challenges, from generating simple Python scripts to tackling more complex tasks, like writing SQL queries, or even working with specialized languages like System Verilog.
I'm guessing it excelled at the simpler stuff, but hit a wall with the more complex coding challenges.
You're catching on. O1 can follow instructions and generate code based on clear specifications. But when it comes to those open-ended problems that require creativity and problem solving, it still has room to grow.
It's like it needs more of that programmer intuition that comes from years of experience.
That's a good way to put it. But even with those limitations, its ability to handle various coding languages is pretty impressive. They even had it working with robot commands, which is a whole other level of complexity.
Oh, wait, robot commands, like actually controlling physical robots in the real world.
Yes. They wanted to see if O1 could translate high-level instructions into the specific code needed to control a robot's movements and actions. Think about the precision and timing required for that.
That's incredible. So was O1 basically directing robots like a conductor leading an orchestra?
Well, not quite conducting a symphony, but it did demonstrate an ability to break down complex tasks into smaller steps and generate the corresponding code. It could even adapt to changes in the environment, like if an obstacle appeared suddenly.
Okay, that's seriously impressive. I'm starting to understand why everyone's buzzing about this research.
Right. But it's important to remember that we're talking about very controlled environments here. Translating those capabilities to the messy, unpredictable real world is a whole different ballgame.
So while O1 might be able to guide a robot through a pre-programmed obstacle course, it's not quite ready to navigate a crowded city street.
Exactly. There's a huge leap between demonstrating these skills in a lab setting and actually deploying them in the real world.
Okay, so O1 is showing real promise in science and engineering. But it's not quite the AI overlord some people fear. What other areas did they explore? Did they delve into the world of healthcare?
They did, and that's where it gets really interesting. They tested O1's ability to analyze electronic health records, EHRs, which are notoriously complex and full of jargon.
Wait, an AI sifting through those dense medical documents. What were they hoping to achieve with that?
The goal was to see if O1 could actually diagnose medical conditions based on the information in those records. It's a task that requires not only medical knowledge, but also the ability to synthesize information, spot patterns, and draw logical conclusions. And you know what's fascinating? It actually showed real promise in this area, especially when dealing with shorter, less complex records. ON was able to identify key patterns and come up with a diagnosis, sometimes even explaining its reasoning, which is remarkable.
So it was playing doctor, in a sense. But I imagine it wasn't perfect, right? Medical diagnosis is incredibly complex, even for seasoned human doctors.
You're absolutely right. When faced with those longer, more intricate patient histories, O1 sometimes struggled to piece everything together accurately. There were instances where it missed crucial details or misinterpreted information, leading to incorrect diagnoses.
That makes sense. It highlights the fact that while AI can be a powerful tool, it's not a replacement for human expertise, especially in fields like medicine, where nuance and judgment are so crucial.
Precisely. But even with those limitations, the potential for AI to assist healthcare professionals is huge. Imagine a system that could flag potential issues in a patient's record, or analyze large data sets to identify trends and risk factors. It could be a game changer.
It's like having an extra set of eyes, constantly scanning for patterns and anomalies that a human doctor might miss.
Exactly. They also tested O1's ability to anonymize medical texts, which is essential for protecting patient privacy. They used a standard data set from a de-identification challenge. And O1 was quite good at spotting and removing those sensitive pieces of information, things like names, addresses, dates, and specific medical details.
So O1 was basically acting as a digital privacy guardian, scrubbing those records clean. That seems like a very practical application for this kind of technology.
It is. And they found that O1 was not only accurate, but also very efficient in this task, which is encouraging for real-world applications. They also explored O1's ability to answer medical knowledge questions, sort of like a medical student taking an exam.
So it wasn't just reading patient records, it was also tapping into a vast database of medical knowledge. Did it pass those medical quizzes with flying colors?
It did quite well, especially with those straightforward knowledge-based questions. But just like with those complex math problems, it stumbled when the questions required deeper reasoning, or integrating knowledge from multiple areas.
It seems like a recurring theme with O1 is that it excels at following clear steps and applying knowledge that's already been given. But when things get fuzzy or require a deeper level of understanding, it starts to falter.
That's a keen observation. It really speaks to the current state of AI development. We've made incredible strides, but there's still that gap between these models and true human-level intelligence.
It's not quite the all-knowing AI we see in sci-fi movies, but it's clear that O1 is a powerful tool with a lot of potential. So we've seen how it handles science, engineering, and medicine. What other fields did they test O1 in? Did they dip their toes into the world of finance?
They did. In the realm of quantitative investing, they were curious if O1 could grasp those complex financial concepts like time series analysis, which is essential for understanding and predicting market trends.
So they were essentially asking O1 to become a Wall Street guru. Did it manage to crack the code of the stock market?
Well, it didn't quite become a stock-picking savant, but it did a pretty remarkable job of explaining those key concepts, things like ARIMA models, which were used for forecasting, and mean reversion, the idea that prices tend to revert to their average over time.
So it could articulate those ideas, but could it actually put them into practice, make some savvy investment predictions?
That's where things get tricky. While O1 could grasp the theoretical foundation, it struggled to consistently apply those principles to real-world market data and make accurate predictions. The stock market is a beast, influenced by so many factors, both rational and irrational.
Even the most seasoned financial analysts struggle to predict its every move. So it seems like even O1 isn't immune to the whims of Wall Street.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that even with its impressive capabilities, AI still has limitations when dealing with complex, unpredictable systems that are heavily influenced by human behavior.
Right, predicting human behavior is a challenge even for humans. So Owen's financial forecasting skills might need a bit more work. But I'm curious, did they test it in any fields that require more creative thinking? Something beyond just crunching numbers and analyzing data?
That's where things get really interesting. They actually explored O1's potential in the world of education, specifically art education.
That's unexpected. AI and art seem like polar opposites. What were they testing in that realm?
They focused on a concept called career, which encourages students to connect their personal experiences and perspectives to their artistic explorations. It's about using art as a tool for self-discovery and understanding the world around us.
That's fascinating. But how do you even begin to test an AI on something so subjective and human-centered?
That's the challenge, right? They gave O1 prompts that required it to define complex concepts within this career framework, like interpreting its meaning in specific educational contexts. They even had it design a lesson plan for a cardboard assemblage art activity for children.
Wait, an AI designing an art lesson plan? I'm picturing a bunch of kids with glue sticks and cardboard boxes, letting their imaginations run wild. Did Owen come up with anything a real art teacher would actually use?
You know, it's funny. Because the lesson plan O1 generated was surprisingly detailed and well-structured, it covered everything from gathering materials and brainstorming ideas to assembling the sculptures,
Yeah.
and even encouraging personal expression.
So it wasn't just a random jumble of instructions, it actually had a pedagogical flow to it.
Exactly. The researchers compared Owen's plan to those created by human art educators and found that it was actually quite comparable in terms of structure, creativity, and attention to practical details.
That's incredible. It makes you wonder if AI could one day become a valuable partner for teachers, helping them to develop engaging and effective lessons across a range of subjects.
That's one of the exciting possibilities that this research points to. Imagine an AI that can sift through educational resources, adapt to different learning styles, and even generate customized learning materials.
It could be like having a personalized teaching assistant for every student.
Yeah.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we declare O1 the next Picasso or Da Vinci, we have to acknowledge that it still has limitations, even in the creative realm.
Absolutely. While O1 can follow instructions and generate creative output, it doesn't yet possess that depth of understanding or emotional intelligence that a human art teacher brings to the table. Art education is about nurturing creativity, inspiring students, and fostering a love of learning, qualities that are still very much in the human domain.
Right? AI can be a powerful tool, but it's not about replacing human educators. It's about finding those areas where AI can augment and enhance human capabilities.
Precisely. And that's a good segue into another fascinating area they explored, 3D layout generation. They wanted to see if O1 could create realistic and functional 3D models of rooms or spaces, which has huge implications for fields like architecture, interior design, and even virtual reality.
So basically, they were asking O1 to become a digital architect. Did it manage to build any virtual masterpieces?
Well, it didn't quite design the next Guggenheim Museum, but it did demonstrate a surprising ability to create coherent and functional 3D layouts. They gave it prompts like design a cozy living room with a fireplace or create a modern kitchen with an island. And O1 generated models that met those specifications.
That's pretty impressive. Was it just arranging furniture, or did it also consider things like lighting, color schemes, and overall aesthetic?
It did consider those elements to some extent. It could select furniture and decor that matched the specified style, and even place windows and doors in logical locations. It wasn't just randomly throwing things together, it was creating layouts that made sense spatially and functionally.
So while it might not be ready to replace human architects just yet, it could be a valuable tool for generating initial designs or exploring different layout options.
Exactly. And that's really the theme that emerges from this research. O1 is a remarkably versatile and powerful tool, but it's still in its early stages of development. It excels at tasks that involve clear instructions and well-defined knowledge. But when it comes to those nuanced, open-ended challenges that require human-level intuition and understanding, it still has some catching up to do.
It's a progress report, not a victory lap. It shows us both how far AI has come and how far it still needs to go. But even with those limitations, it's clear that O1 is a significant step forward. In the quest for artificial general intelligence, it's like we're watching the birth of a new kind of intelligence, one that's still learning and evolving. It's both exciting And a little bit unnerving, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and it underscores the importance of this kind of research. By rigorously testing these models across such a diverse range of tasks, we can get a clearer picture of their true capabilities and limitations.
It's like we're mapping the terrain of this new AI landscape, figuring out where the peaks and valleys are.
That's a great analogy. And as we continue to explore this terrain, we're bound to uncover new and unexpected applications for AI. Who would have thought a few years ago that we'd be talking about AI designing art lessons or generating 3D layouts?
It's like AI is becoming this incredibly versatile tool, one that can be applied to almost any field imaginable. But with that versatility comes a responsibility. To use it wisely and ethically, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, we need to be mindful of the potential impact, both positive and negative. We need to ensure that it's used to enhance human capabilities, not replace or diminish them.
It's like we're at a crossroads,
Yeah.
where we have to make conscious choices about how we want to shape the future with AI.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important takeaway from this research, the importance of collaboration. Developing and deploying AI responsibly requires a multidisciplinary approach, bringing together experts from fields like computer science, ethics, social sciences, and even the arts.
It's not just about the technology itself. It's about understanding its potential impact on society and ensuring that it aligns with our values.
Right. And that's where initiatives like this research are so crucial. They spark those important conversations, encourage collaboration, and help us chart a course for the future of AI that benefits all of humanity.
This deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about. O1 may not be the ultimate AGI we've been dreaming of, but it's a powerful reminder that the future is unfolding before our very eyes.
I completely agree. And it's up to all of us to engage with these developments, ask those tough questions, and shape the future of AI in a way that's both innovative and responsible.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of AI.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. Remember, the future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're all shaping together. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. Until next time.